When I walked into the theaters to watch Masters of the Universe, it was almost like me walking into a time machine. I have grown up watching the Filmation cartoons and playing with the action figures, so you can imagine my excitement to experience the modern-day live-action adaptation of the lore. The trailers and teasers had only fueled my excitement, and finally, it was time for Judgment Day. Well, let me just say that I still have a big smile on my face as I am creating this video for you. Such was the entertainment and the nostalgia storm. In this video, I will break down the movie for you and also elaborate on the ending and sequel possibilities. There will be some major spoilers along the way, so you have been warned.
Eternia shall witness my rise.
Things start off in Eternia and with a tragedy. The movie wastes no time in introducing the viewers to the magical world of Eternia, and I am immediately mesmerized by the visuals. I mean, this is really big screen worthy in case you are planning to watch it at home later. So we get to see a Prince Adam as a child, and he is not the perfect kid by any means. His father, King Brandor, expects more from him, but his fighting skills are below par and he is not exactly the bravest young boy. His mother, the Queen, is supportive enough, but he is just too young to take life and responsibility seriously. He is someone who enjoys playing with his friend Tila, and the jousting sessions are not really his cup of tea. There is an early training session that makes it evident that he is not very interested in these skills, much to the disappointment of King Brandor, who even takes up the sword to force young Adam into a real fighting training. Of course, we also have the evergreen Man-at-Arms, and I couldn't have thought of a more appropriate casting choice for this character than Idris Elba. One look at the man and I am convinced that this is the brave and loyal warrior, the protector of Eternia, Man-at-Arms. But the happy times are short-lived, and soon enough Skeletor and his forces attack. This takes everyone by surprise, and even though the soldiers of Eternia put up a fight guided by the finest warriors of the land, it soon proves to be a losing battle. Man-at-Arms Duncan is smart enough to take the Queen and young Prince away to the safety of Castle Grayskull, but even he is interrupted by one of Skeletor's henchmen, Trapjaw. He fights bravely, but the sly and unfair moves of Trapjaw get the better of him. Eventually, it is Queen Marlena who takes Adam to Castle Grayskull, where the sorceress is quick to remind him about the importance of the Power Sword. They make him leave through a portal just in time, and Adam goes to Earth with the Power Sword. Skeletor defeats King Randor, and it's a hostile takeover of Eternia until the prophecy is fulfilled and someone worthy enough redeems the land.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Adam's life on Earth is a comedy of errors until it isn't. I love the intense opening sequence, and what follows next is Adam's life on Earth. Well, despite strict instructions to never be separated from his power sword, Adam loses it immediately upon arrival, and his life begins as a regular human on Earth. The sword is the only thing that can get him back to Eternia, but until he can find it, he is just forced to live a life away from the world that he knows. He longs to see his loved ones, sketches portraits of them, and tries to convince everyone with his real story. Of course, everyone thinks he is a bit crazy for such stories, but at least he lands a job on Earth in the HR department of a company. He is not their finest employee, and I cannot really blame his manager for asking him to reconsider his behavior, especially after he keeps searching for swords on his computer and freaks out his co-workers. His roommate, however, is a chill dude who loves watching romantic movies, but even he doesn't believe the fantasy tale of Adam and his past life. However, life changes for Adam after a random person informs him about a sword like the one he is looking for. This comes after he posts online seeking help to find the sword, and for $300, Adam is shown the sword, which just happens to be in a shop. It is placed in the hands of a statue, and to make matters worse, it is not even for sale. But Adam is thrilled to find his key to his homeland, and he goes into a frenzy as he wrests the sword out of the statue's hands and drives back to his apartment. It is a hilarious sequence as he tries to power up with the sword in hand, but nothing happens, and the onlookers just stare at him like he is a crazy person. However, it turns out that his thundering, "I have the power," was not in vain. The next day, the cops come to his place because he literally left a ton of evidence after getting away with the sword. While he is taken to the police station, a strange otherworldly attack makes everyone run for their lives. This happens to be Beastman, who has picked up the signal of the Power Sword after Adam summoned its powers, and he has been sent by Skeletor to bring the sword to him. I think this bit is very realistic because Adam is not a seasoned warrior, and even with the power sword, he doesn't have the skills to outdo someone as powerful as Beastman. But he has some support because Teela has also tracked him down there. After outwitting Beastman, they head to Eternia on a spaceship, and it is a dream come true moment for Adam, who has been waiting for this all his life. Challenges for Adam back on Eternia. Is it a memorable homecoming? Well, as excited as Adam is to be on a spaceship heading home, there are some disappointing things that he learns from Teela. For starters, he finds out that his parents have been missing since the day of the attack, and no one has heard of them since. While flying through Eternia, he realizes that the entire land has been turned into ruins because Skeletor was really after the power sword and its unlimited powers all his life. A handful of fighters who remain are now in hiding, and Teela brings Adam to their hideout. I thought this would be a heartwarming welcome for the prince after 15 years away on Earth, but initially nobody recognizes him. Also, I think it is fair on their part because Adam is wearing a pink shirt and not exactly looking like a seasoned Eternian warrior. It is a scene that is sure to make you laugh because nobody can believe that Adam has turned out to be this meek-looking man, but he is fanboying over some of the familiar warriors. But I think the most shocking transformation has been that of Duncan. Ever since his defeat, he hasn't been the same man and blamed himself for not being able to save the king and Eternia. He has taken to drinking, and now he is barely a shadow of the feisty warrior who never gave up. Nevertheless, Adam barely has time to rest his legs because the flyby through Eternia hasn't gone unnoticed. Skeletor's forces have discovered the hideout and an attack follows. Adam, Teela, Man-at-Arms, and a battle robot try to get away with the power sword, while the likes of Fisto, Ram Man, and Mechaneck rally the other fighters to put up some resistance. I am telling you, the battle droid Roboto will become one of your favorite characters in the film. It's basically programmed to be a fighter, but the circumstances have made Teela turn it into a maid cleaning the floors. Roboto is thrilled to be back in action, and it is an unforgettable action sequence as Top Gun meets Star Wars in this aerial warfare. Teela is an expert pilot, but she is heavily outnumbered as she tries to maneuver her spaceship through hordes of Skeletor's ships. I think I had my mouth open the whole time, it looks so breathtaking, and even Adam pulls off a few stunts as he fends off the attackers. But before that, I guess one of the best visuals of the movie come during Adam's fight against Trapjaw, where he first tries to resolve things with dialogue and then transforms into a heroic warrior for the first time using the power sword. He then tears off Trapjaw's mechanized arm before they fly away into the dogfight with Skeletor's aerial forces. They get away to safety, but Skeletor's apparition appears before them and informs that King Randor and Queen Marlena are still alive, and they can only be freed if Adam takes the power sword to him. An infuriated Adam heads out to save his father, and it is a gritty sequence as he meets Randor for one last time before one of his wayward strikes causes the ceiling to cave in on top of Randor. He dies in Adam's arms, telling him how proud he is of him. And in this emotional moment, Skeletor strikes Adam unconscious from behind. He is thrown into a prison cell where he meets all the other warriors of Eternia like Fisto, Ram Man, Dion, Mechaneck, Mossman, and the others. He rallies his troops with a funny but inspiring speech, and they break out of the prison together. Oh, and how can I forget his reunion with his mother, which is another emotional high. The movie promises plenty of heartfelt moments between all the action, and honestly, I don't mind. Meanwhile, Skeletor, who has taken the power sword after sending Adam to the prison cell, heads to Eternos, the ruined capital of Eternia. He is instructed by Evil Lyn to use the power sword in Castle Grayskull to unleash its powers. On the other hand, Adam and his allies rush into battle, and this boils down to one hell of a final showdown between him and Skeletor. Ending explained. All's well that ends well. I would have been very disappointed if Masters of the Universe did not deliver on the expectation of a happy ending. But of course it does, because the film doesn't put a foot wrong in understanding the pulse of the fans. So it all boils down to an intense climax after the jailbreak, and now it is time for revenge for all the fighters of Eternia who have waited so long helplessly. One of the best things about Adam's reunion with his loved ones is also his battle cat Cringer. and it looks absolutely stunning as Adam rides the mighty beast. Finally, it is Adam versus Skeletor as Evil Lyn takes on Teela. Outside, Duncan gets another fight with Trapjaw, who destroys Roboto, but this time, a furious Duncan is able to kill Trapjaw in what marks his comeback moment. Adam is initially overwhelmed by Skeletor, who shatters his power sword with his Havoc Staff, but Adam soon finds out after being stabbed that the power sword is only a vessel for his own powers. As Skeletor sends him in a trance-like limbo to face his past trauma, he encounters the sorceress who guides him through it. The sorceress also appears across the movie as a bird, and this is so lore accurate that I love the portrayal. So after getting his confidence back, an injured Adam fights back and he redefines a new brand of masculinity as he takes down Skeletor with his insane power. The final fight back is absolutely brutal, and he just disintegrates Skeletor with his powerful blows. Evil Lyn is able to escape, but it is a resounding victory for Adam and his men. Finally, order is restored in Eternos, and 6 months later it is shown that the ruins are now restored to its former glory. Even Roboto has been refurbished, which I think adds to the happy ending. And this is also the time when Adam calls himself He-Man for the first time, when asked by Teela what he called himself secretly while he was away on Earth. It is an ending that satisfied the He-Man fan in me, and of course I had to wait for the post-credit scenes. Is there a post-credit scene? Will there be a sequel? I had said in some of my earlier videos that if Masters of the Universe does well, it might just open the doors for a new era of He-Man movies. The director Travis Knight has clearly delivered, and I think it is only fair that he gets another shot at it. As I had expected, Travis leaves plenty of room for a sequel, and even though we are yet to have an official confirmation, you can almost be sure that there will be more. There is a short tag at the end of the film where another iconic character from the franchise is unveiled, and this is none other than She-Ra, someone who is such an integral part of the Masters of the Universe lore. She is only shown from behind in a brief shot, but I think that this might be a hint at where the story might be headed next. The first credit scene shows Orko, the memorable floating magician who added so much humor to the narrative back in the day. Orko looks just like the original animated version, and I wish he had a role to play in the rest of the movie as well. It is the mid-credit scene that reveals She-Ra, and it is a scene to remember. Queen Marlena sets up the scene perfectly and tells Man-at-Arms, "I'd given up hope. Perhaps one day she'll come back to us too." Then the scene cuts away to the surface of Etheria, which is Eternia's sister planet. And here you see her as she tells someone that she is no longer Force Captain Adora. We also see the Sword of Protection glowing fiercely, and those who know about the lore can already connect the dots. Adora, who is the daughter of Marlena, works for the evil horde of Hordak, but she gives up this life after she learns about her true past, and I think the sequel might be headed here. Lastly, the final post-credits scene sets up the return of Skeletor as Evil Lyn returns to the scene of her master's death and retrieves the skull. You can hear Skeletor laughing as she says, "I must say, you looked better." And clearly, you cannot get rid of Skeletor so easily. At the moment, the only concern is that the box office returns are not looking as good as the makers might have expected, but that can change very quickly with a positive word of mouth, and the movie might end up earning enough to warrant a sequel.
I know how to use it.
What makes this a must-watch? I would say that the biggest asset of Masters of the Universe is that it knows exactly what the fans like us are expecting. The narrative is a perfect mix of comedy and serious moments, and the performances have been top-notch. As much as I might dislike Jared Leto, there is no denying the brilliance of his voice work in the film, and even the likes of Nicholas Galitzine as He-Man and Camila Mendes as Teela are very impressive. Idris Elba, of course, needs no introduction, and it is their power-packed performances that make the movie stand out. The visuals are remarkable, and as I said before, you really need to watch this one in the theaters. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the movie, and also share your thoughts on sequel possibilities. If you appreciate the efforts to bring you this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.